Hi everybody, Morgana Galaxia here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're with me today. How you all doing out there? It's been a few days since I've been on, and man, there's a lot to go over these days. And because I want to hit on a lot of different things today, I think I'm going to break it up into different shorter videos so I don't go on and on for too long for you guys. So the first thing what this video today is going to be about is the Galactic Federation. More specifically, I want to take a look at Israeli scientist Haim Eshed's claim that came out a few days ago. Probably a lot of you have heard about it, that not only are ETs real, but there's a Galactic Federation that has been in contact with the US and Israel. And there's a underground base on Mars that have American personnel working with extraterrestrials. And yeah, so this came out in the news. A lot of people, of course, are calling this guy a fraud. The problem is he is an expert in the field. If anybody would know, this guy would know. So we're going to take a look at some of those questions today. How exciting. I'm totally stoked about it. So just to give you a little information, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. I hope I am. The gentleman's name is Haim Eshed, okay? And he's 87 years old right now. And he was the Defense Ministry's Space Division's chief for nearly 30 years, okay? So he headed the space program in Israel. He's a 3-time recipient of the Israel Security Award. Yeah, so this guy, if anybody would know, it would be this guy and people like him who work in this field, he's just credible, okay? That is part of the reason that he's making this announcement. He said himself he's highly credible, he's highly respected in his country, in the sciences and academia. He's 87 years old, he's been doing this for over 30 years, he's got nothing to lose. And he said it's just a different climate now. You know, things are different now than they were even 5 or 10 years ago. So he made this announcement, okay? And it's really interesting because I heard some people, people obviously it's all about aliens, so it must be fraud. They're basically saying, oh, well, we'll agree that there's probably aliens out there, but, oh, the Galactic Federation, that's just going too far. He must be a fraud. Well, let's take a look because he could be. There's a lot of disinfo information out there. It could be part of a propaganda program or, who knows? Who knows why this guy might be saying this if this is not the truth. So if there's anybody out there, any of you who follow extraterrestrial news and information, the Galactic Federation will not be unfamiliar to you, okay? This concept has been around for a really long time. Really long time. So basically, just kind of break it down in a nutshell. There's lots of extraterrestrials out there, some of them benevolent, some of them malevolent. The malevolent ones would be your reptilians, right? Your Orions, maybe some of the Greys that are here controlling our planet and taking away our free will and enslaving us. The benevolent extraterrestrials have created basically a galactic federation of worlds where they work in the light, okay? Where they're benevolent, they're in the light of the great divine primary creator. And they work with worlds to help them evolve and be peaceful. So that's kind of the two parties. That's the gist of it. Obviously, you can look up a ton of information on YouTube if you want to know more about the Galactic Federation. But the first thing I want to ask the spirits and any galactic friends who might be with us today for our reading, I would like to ask if Haim Eshed is telling the truth, okay? Is his story true? Is it a lie? What can the cards tell us just generally about Mr. Eshed's story? Okay. All right. So please, Spirit and friends, can you shed some light on Haim Eshed's story for us with some information? All right, let's bring it down. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, everybody. So Haim Eshed's claim about the Galactic Federation. I don't think I actually specifically mentioned, maybe I did, that the Galactic Federation, you know, he is stating that the Galactic Federation has had relationships with both Israel and the United States. Okay, I mentioned the Americans are in that Mars underground base. So he's saying that there's been relationships with at least these two nations, okay, and the Galactic Federation. Just wanted to throw that out there because that's part of the question here. So, sort of the face of the reading, we have the World card. The World card. So this is one of the most, sorry, my table's so squeaky. Okay. This is one of the most long-term, most important, most controversial questions that have ever faced mankind, okay? The whole entire world. Are we alone or are we not alone? I'm going to say we're not alone. We might be in the middle there thinking we're isolated, we're the only ones, but there's definitely other life outside of our sphere, okay? This question, the scientist's story, is going to be heard across the world. It's going to be absorbed by all nations. You know, maybe not every individual citizen is going to hear this, but nations will. The sense I'm getting is that this story, his information that he put out there, does involve the world and is impacting the world, will be heard by the world, okay? And because we are dealing with a galactic question here, we can make an argument this is the universe, right? The question, the face of this question here is about the universe. What kind of life is out there in the universe? Here we are, we think we're the center of the bubble. There's all different kinds of beings out there who are right there, okay? Right there. What is the challenge facing the disclosure of this story is strength, okay? So this would simply tell me that, you know, it's very controversial, his story. Very controversial, and just saying it will sap his strength. Just saying that could damage his career, right? Those forces that would go against him in this story, who would say it's all fake and all fraud, they might be really strong in their opposition to what he's saying out there. So strength is his challenge. His lack of it, his opponent's having of it. And because this card points to the strength and gentleness, strength and peace. In other words, that is how this woman can deal with this lion, is by the peace and gentleness in her heart. That is what gives her the strength in this card. That peace and gentleness in our hearts is a challenge to this situation, okay? What is crowning this reading is justice. Justice. So as someone who understands understands it, there's life out there and they're probably here. I think the justice is saying that, I don't want to get on a soapbox here. I think what the justice is saying, that this is Justice is us having the truth. Justice is us no longer being lied to, no longer being hoodwinked, right? Justice is truth. It's knowledge. It is being faced with and having to deal with the truth of the truth. I think it is justice for us to know what is going on, okay? What is truth? It would not be justice for humanity to continue to be lied to, right? It would not be justice for us to continue to be hoodwinked and be disinformed. True justice always stands in truth, right? That, to me, is the point of this card here. What's foundational to the reading, what's sort of underneath it all, with the Eight of Swords, is that we've been, this is us being hoodwinked, lied to, constricted, confined. We haven't been able to move out there in the universe, okay? We haven't been able to move as a spacefaring peoples. We haven't been able to grow and expand and evolve because we, if we would have been receiving all this knowledge when it started, say, I'm sure this has been going on for millennia, right? But let's just pick a date and say 1947 with Roswell. If instead of being secretive, governments would have been open and kept their populaces informed with every step of the way or every bit of knowledge that we gained, we wouldn't be in this situation right here. But that's not what happened. The secrecy has bound us, okay? The secrecy has bound us, and as a result, we're tied up, we're constrained, we're bound, all right? This is an injustice, okay? This is underneath the justice. So we're dealing with this duality, okay? This is us up to today. But the justice of us being unbound and told the truth is right in the sky above us. Hey, in the sky above us. I like that. Okay, our recent past, right? What energy have we just come through? We've got the Nine of Pentacles. So, this is just this isn't just an energy of being the queen in your own garden, being the king of your own domain, right? You have all the wealth, riches, and ease around you. You're the king of your own castle, is a lot of what this card has to say. So yeah, that's kind of our past, right? Us thinking we're the only thing going on in the universe. Earth is the only planet with life. We were the ignorant king in our own castles, right? We had our planet. That's really all that's going on out there as far as life is concerned. We're it. We're the center of everything, right? Yeah, that's fading away. That kind of thinking that we're the king in our own castle and we're kind of all that there is going on. That energy is fading into our past. The energy we're going to be moving into here with the Hierophant. So, I feel like, so the Hierophant is the authority, the government, the church, what have you, the big institutions that keep that traditions alive. Those institutions, both the governments across the world as well as the churches, are going to have to not just face the music, because I think they know. They're going to have to go to the people, preach to the people, release the information to the people. They're going to have to bring their peoples along with them, be the leaders. So the governments of the nations are going to have to take the stage and make announcements. The world's religions are going to have to tell their flocks what they've known for a really long time. I've heard so many accounts of, for example, there's a lot of information about extraterrestrials and this kind of thing in the Vatican archives. And that's why it's down there, being hidden from the Earth's people, okay? The gig is up and they're going to have to fess up is where I'm going with that. Okay, so I think how Mr. Eshed is seeing this situation right here, how he's feeling about it with the Three of Cups, is that he's celebrating. He is thrilled. There are other people who are celebrating with him. Hold on, let me take care of my cat here. Okay. You know, people are celebrating with him. I think there's just groups of people maybe that he works with, his friends, family, whoever that's around him, that is toasting the cups with him. They're congratulating him on what he's done, what he's stated and said. And I think that there's just some celebration in certain circles around him about this. So there's, I'm sure, tons of people who are just thrilled that he came out and gave out this information because of who he is. Okay. Influence of, outside influences. These are the people who are going to savagely do anything they can to bury the story, silence him, call it a pack of lies and a bunch of garbage, and humiliate everybody who dare believe it, right? This is the status quo coming in to cut this guy down, okay? In the hopes or fears, we have the Page of Pentacles. So I think this is the hope here. The hope, you know, if we can get over the secrecy and just let academia and let the sciences and let civilian groups know the truth and do their thing, and we start building these kind of relationships with these other star races and nations, the potential for us is incredible, okay? We have so much to gain. Yeah, it's risky, okay? There's malevolent actors, benevolent actors. That's already the truth, right? If this is true, that's already the truth. That's already happening. What we're missing out on is the opportunities we would get from knowledge, So the coins, yes, financially, we could restructure our planet. We could have free energy. We might be able to cure diseases. You know, who knows what gifts are out there for us, okay? And the outcome, we have judgment. In the outcome, we have judgment. And, you know, I love that this is an angel trumpeting down to us. So judgment, okay? The judgment is in. I'm going to say the truth of the matter is out. The judgment has been made. We are all faced now with the truth of things. It's up to us to accept it. You know, you're certainly free to sit in your seat and go, this guy's a fraud and a bunch of garbage, and then just toss it out of your mind, never think about it again, and you don't believe it. You have that right. We have free will here. But you would be turning your face away from the truth that's been given to you, okay? The judgment has been made. The judgment has been made. So that is what I'm getting just generally for Haim Eshed, okay? And his claims. So let's see if we can, just for fun, dig down a little bit more. I'll also remind you guys that the Pentagon released some footage within the last couple of months of UFOs. And they released that footage saying, these are UFOs, take a look, okay? A lot of people are making a big deal out of it, but it's not the first time, okay? Our U.S. military has very quietly already acknowledged UFOs, as opposed to extraterrestrial life, but UFOs. You know, that unidentified business they're at least willing to acknowledge at this time. But we're just one nation on the face of this earth, okay? And so many others, national governments have said, yeah, okay? Mexico, France, there's a couple other ones. France in particular has released troves of documents from their government. Okay, so what do I want to ask next? Let's ask about this underground base on Mars. Is there really an underground base on Mars, and are Americans working there with extraterrestrials? Is that true? Underground base on Mars, Spirit. Is there an underground base on Mars with American personnel working with extraterrestrials? All right, let's bring that down. Just gonna do a little different spread here, my what the fudge spread. Oh, I got that card again. Oof. Underground based on Mars. Let's see if we can pull any information here. So the situation here we are again, being the king of our own castle, blissfully unaware of our neighbors, so to speak. We rule our own roost. You know, we've got the money, we've got all our resources, we're luxuriating here in our own garden, okay? But the forces that are opposing us is the devil. The devil. So, you know, the devil stands for all kinds of things. Addictions, being chained, chaining yourself to, you know, evil people, all those, you know, being a liar. Okay, you know, Trump often gets this card, right? Being a liar, being a narcissist, abusing people, just being evil, malintent, okay? So I'm going to say this evil malintent here is opposing us. And since we are talking about extraterrestrial issues here, I'm going to, on that sort of level, I'm also going to read, this could be the malevolent entities that might be out there opposing us, okay? Because the whole story around the whole reptilian thing is that they're enslaving us. They're enslaving this planet. We're a slave species and we don't even know it. So that would be them as well. So you can look to maybe the reptilians here. So what's actual about this situation with the Queen of Pentacles? You know, the queen looks to her own money, her own resources, and her own finances. She, you know, often, maybe not, you know, with concern, with practicality. I guess what I'm getting here, what am I getting here? I just, you know, money issues. I'm just getting, well, we know that any acceptance of any extraterrestrial issues or their existence would fundamentally alter how we do things on this planet. And the number one thing that would change is how we deal with money. So I think this is the concern with how we look at money, how money operates on this planet, whether we would lose it or gain it. You know, would this impoverish us? I just think there's a lot of concern over the finances, not just of America, but of the planet. So money is the control mechanism of peoples, okay? It is money that makes you go to a job you hate every day. It's money that tears marriages apart. It's money that kill people when they can't afford, you know, healthcare. It's money and debt that keeps us all enslaved, right? We're all economic slaves. That is what this queen is looking at. How would this information, this revelation, affect how the world operates economically? Okay, how would it affect economies? Sometimes it takes me a while to beat around the bush to get to where I'm going here. So this is the fudge card. What's effed up about this situation, which is really interesting because it's the Six of Wands, which is the victory card. This is the victory card. So, part of me wants to say, yeah, all the leaders that, that are in power, they're all preventing this kind of information from coming forth. But I almost feel like, so the real feeling I'm getting from this is what, this position is what's effed up about the situation. And I feel with this victory card, I feel like we are finally victorious over that. What's effed up about the situation, of course, would have been all the lies, the fact that we're all deceived, or there could be any number of things that are effed up about it. With this victory card in that place, I feel like maybe we've overcome that, or we're getting very close to it. There's some sort of victory there. The question mark here. So what is it that we should be asking? Two of Wands, okay? So we're dealing with extraterrestrial issues here. So what we need to be asking is, who's controlling the world? Who's making all the plans? Who's the master planner? Who's got the world in their hands? Who's the controllers? Okay, who are the controllers? That's what we need to be asking, okay? Who are the ones that are lying to us, or the ones that are benefiting from that? Who are the controllers, the ones that are making the decisions? That's just what we need to be asking. On the exclamation point, what do we need to be doing? What's the action that we need to take here? And we have the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles is all about evening out the money. In other words, so we have the 1%, we have the 99%, right? We have the super wealthy elite, and we have everybody else. That economic disparity needs to be balanced. That's what this card is saying. It's charity. It's giving from the rich to taking from the rich, giving to the poor. It's sort of leveling the playing field, bringing everybody up, basically. Now the card does say this doesn't come without, doesn't come without a price, or it doesn't come, how should I say this, without strings attached. There's always strings attached. But I think this is talking about, again, the economy that this queen is worried about. What we need to do is, again, it's talking about the economy. Bring people up. We need to eliminate poverty. We need to eliminate the super elite wealthy class. We need to be a unified peoples where everyone is succeeding. And I think this is one of the themes that I've heard so many times. What Mr. Eshed claimed is that, this is what he's claiming, that the Galactic Federation want to remain in secrecy because we're not ready, okay? We're not prepared. We're not ready to deal with the truth. We're not unified as a people. We're not peaceful. We still kill each other. We still are fighting all the time. We are still divided. And so often I've heard that before we can receive that contact, we need to be a united people. And that has to do with, for us, that has to do with balancing money, balancing the economy, lifting people up, being unified, and caring for our brothers and sisters. Okay, that's where I'm going with that. Did that say anything about a base in Mars? Let me take a look at these cards. This did not give me an answer as to whether there's a base on Mars, is there? Is there a damn base on Mars? money, victory, lots of planning, looking at this planet, looking at this globe, strategizing, okay, making some plans, trying to figure something out about this globe. And Six of Pentacles, juggling money. So if I'm focusing in on what I'm actually asking these cards, I would say, ooh, I'm going to say yeah, because, you know, we thought about the financial aspects of this. Obviously, if this is the case, this base has probably been there for a while. Americans have been doing this for a while. So this is really pointing to the secret space program, which claims that we have already been sort of spacefaring peoples, at least within our own solar system, for decades. So I feel like, you know, the victory here could have been like, we managed it, we did it, we got over there and we built this thing. This is telling us, look at how rich this guy, look at this. Even though you see just a little bit of it, this is a wealthy person on a palace. This is the elite right here, okay? The elite had the resources and the wherewithal to do this planning. And yeah, it was just about juggling money. Maybe this was an international or a joint effort of some kind with Israel, who knows? You know, I'm going to say it's not like a slam dunk, hell yeah, but this victory card is telling me that something was achieved. And there was definitely planning going on and some money going on. What was crossing the situation, something evil. So maybe, again, that could be the malevolent actors out there. Okay. Was there anything else? Well, I think that was pretty much... Oh, I did want to ask one more thing. So disclosure. Disclosure, if you don't know, is nations, governments acknowledging the extraterrestrial reality, okay? Whether it's, you know, not just, oh yeah, there's UFOs. That's not what we're talking about with disclosure here. We're talking about extraterrestrial life forms, engagement with the planet, long-term, I don't want to say manipulation, but long-term impacts here on the planet with our peoples and our nations and so forth. Basically, it's people understanding, yeah, there's aliens and they're here. Okay, that's disclosure. And a lot of people have been waiting for it for a really long time. Was Obama going to be the disclosure president? Turns out he wasn't. You know, people were thinking Hillary might have been the disclosure president. She got thwarted. I don't think anybody really expected anybody to tell Trump any damn thing. According to this guy, though, Haim, Trump's supposed to know something. You know, given that Trump can't keep his mouth shut. But anyways, where I'm going with this. Disclosure. Is disclosure going to happen in 2021? Is disclosure going to happen in 2021? Doesn't have to be by the US, okay? Other nations have hinted around it. Like I said, France released lots of UFO records and stuff like that, but we're talking full on disclosure. Where everyday people, your Uncle Joe knows that there's aliens, right? Your Trump-loving cousin from Texas, now she knows there's aliens. Disclosure, okay? Will disclosure happen in 2021? All right, let's take a look. Okay, I'm just going to do a modified Celtic on this one. All right, everybody. Will disclosure happen in 2021? All right, here we are. Karma. Karma's right at the face of this question. We are going to be rolling right into our destiny here. Okay, karma's coming home. This could be the completion of the cycle. The wheel is turning. We're moving on to our destiny. What's crossing this energy is the Two of Wands, which is a critical decision. It's a crossroads, okay? So we're being challenged by the fact that we are sitting in the middle of a crossroads right now. We've got a decision to make, disclose or not disclose. And because this decision is so difficult, we've been procrastinating on making it. We've been sitting at this crossroads for a really long time here. And by we, I'm talking about the powers that be, the governments, the nations, the churches, okay? Not everyday people. So the civilian community is doing a lot of work with this, but disclosure is all about the governments, and they've been sitting on this decision for a really long time. What's in the sky over it? What's conscious with the Knight of Cups? This is a healing, okay? The Knight of Cups is the healer card. He's the one that comes with the emotions. He's the lover. He's the healer. So this is telling me at least there is an energy above us all in the sky that wants us to heal, okay? That wants us to heal. That's very positive, that's very loving, that's very benevolent, and wants a healing for all. That's great. What's underneath this reading, or subconscious, again, is the abuse of power. Just doing everything they can to silence, to rule, to thwart this information, to prevent, there's been a lid on this topic for a really long time. A lot of people have done some dastardly deeds to keep this secret. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, scientists have been murdered, and data and experiments have been stolen. There's a big old deep rabbit hole. You can go down with this, but we're not. Recent past with the Six of Swords, moving on to smoother waters, okay? So I think this is what Mr. Eshed was saying, is that even 5 or 10 years ago, he would never have said what he said, but he feels that the tide has turned. We're in a different environment now. It's more acceptable and more accepted for him to come out and said what he said. And I think that's what this is referring to. We've moved on into smoother waters. We have a little more scientific understanding. We understand the cosmos better. It was only in the 90s that we started finding planets around other stars. And now we know there's planets all over the place, water worlds within the habitable zone. We're now in a scientific period where we can understand these truths are possible. The energy we're moving into, though, is there going to be disclosure in 2021? Oh, still a lot of fighting to prevent that from happening, okay? Still a lot of battles, a lot of fighting. I don't know. If we can surpass this, maybe we can get there. One of the questions around disclosure is, what nation is it going to be? If we should want it to be the U.S. because we want to lead the world in these kinds of questions. But other nations might preempt us and step up and do this first. Or there might be a battle going on, kind of who's it going to be, who's going to say what, or maybe some countries trying to stop other countries from doing this. So I didn't want to go do a full Celtic, so I'm going to say as of now, it's undetermined undetermined because there's still a lot of fussing and fighting going on to keep this secret. So I don't know if 2021 is going to be the year. Okay, you guys, that's going to be it for me and extraterrestrial issues for today. I just was thrilled to see that story come out. I know a lot of people are wanting to only take half this guy's story and not the other half, right? ET's far away, we can deal with that. ET's here on planet, eek, right? Galactic Federation of Planets, cuckoo, right? At some point, people, if you want to know the truth, you got to look for it, and it will be there for you to find, okay? I'll be back with you probably today because I want to get back into the politics stuff, and I'll probably drop another video. That way, if you're not interested on this, about the ET stuff, obviously you wouldn't have watched this. But anyways, I'll see you guys in a few more minutes when I'll drop another video today, okay? Thank you for being with me, you guys. Peace out there. Bye.